Oh, are we back?
We have returned.
Oh,
Hi.
Hello. Welcome,
Hello, everybody.
ladies and gentlemen, to, as you can see, a brand new episode of the Grand Slam podcast. And I'm here with my two lovely co hosts, Will from South Texas and Robin.
and we are reporting live from Butte, Montana.
That's right, Butte, Montana.
Oh, I've never been to Montana, but this looks
It's nothing special.
Oh,
Hey, Butte is special. Did you know that one of the most famous events in Butte was a labor riot of 1914? And the Anaconda Copper Mining Company was in a scuffle with the laborers there, and since Butte was never a labor town, that's a pretty it's never a company town, rather. It's a pretty significant event, and uh,
no.
yeah, that happened, and the motto for Butte is the richest hill on earth. Uh, so that's
It's also the
something.
home of Evil Knievel.
Oh, evil
And we wanna thank Bert Mooney Airport for getting us here safely, and we also want to thank the over 33,525 citizens of Butte for welcoming us as we landed at the airport today. They thought we were a country western singer, but they found out we were just podcasters, and they said, fuck it, we already fried up the chicken, and we've got the banners out, let's have a party. And we drank for 3 days. We don't know what we drank. We were told it was special, and I can't see. I can no longer see, and
What?
Robin is deaf.
Robin's gotten.
What's going on? I'm confused.
But we're in Butte, so thank you, Butte, and all of your lovely.
And I can apparently read lips. Yes. Well, thank you, Butte. Even though I'm just looking at a picture of Will, and he's not moving.
And my eyes are on fire.
They are on fire.
Edgar?
Oh yes. So yes, we got some stuff to talk about, but of course, before we get to the show that we're going to discuss today, some gaming news. Of course, some gaming news happened.
Gaming and movie, technically.
True. Oh, yeah, true, yeah. Which was, as some of you saw, was Nintendo's recent Nintendo Direct, and they showed a lot of stuff there, and I want to go through some of the highlights, because I know for me personally, I can understand if like a lot of people weren't super hyped for this, or like they weren't like entertained as much with this, but I know for me personally, as it got like closer and closer to like the end, it got much better for me personally. So I want to start off with what was the highlight for me that showed was my boy Kirby. As you can see here, look at this big pink puff ball. He's finally
Kirby is actually 93% marshmallow.
That is a fact, a scientific fact.
He's a marshmallow. He's also
conducted by the very proud Butte scientists.
That's right. Scientists, no longer the Butte of jokes.
Yes.
Because Butte is spelled butt with an E. That's the funny part of the joke. I'm going to analyze this joke like the scientists in Butte.
We will.
The other 10% of Kirby is cheese. Yes, Captain Vulgar.
We are getting all of our scientific research as well as other factoids during this podcast straight from the citizens of Butte, Montana.
Because yes, he's a percent of marshmallow, a percentage of cheese. He's also a percentage of a god, and percentage of just a young kid.
I just got a note here. Just passed it from Will. Just passed it to me. Just slide it across the
Oh
table.
wait, I'm sorry. Is this newsroom?
Yes.
Yeah.
but
And boy howdy, sometimes you hate to see it. I got my mic pulled because I attempted to talk over Robin, and our manager, we have a manager now,
Yes.
pulled my mic. We want to thank Steve from Butte. Steve from Butte, who volunteered his time to be our manager. He does not get paid. We want to stress that heavily.
Mhm.
We are
But he
currently all
pulled
three of us
my
pointing
mic.
at him.
Yeah, we're all pointing at him, and he pulled my mic because I was attempting to talk over Robin. And Steve, I know you're new around here, but that shit happens all the time. But
And it is
wait,
not gonna fly.
and
At
it's
all.
not gonna fly at all.
Go
But
on.
newsroom with Robin. Robin.
Oh, he's got paper.
I was just past this a little while ago. It seems that the neighboring state of Idaho is furious that we are not there. Instead, we are in Butte.
Oh.
So
And y'all can't hear it because we actually have we got a little money.
Yes.
And I know what. Okay, we got a little money. And what we bought with the money was noise dampeners so that you could only hear our voices and not anything in the background. And the citizens of Butte, when we said that Idaho was mad at us, they just went, fuck them. But not like angrily, like dejectedly, fuck them.
like they were used to this before, so they're just kind of like
they were used to it. They're always complaining about what Butte's got. Butte's the best city in the world.
What do
They
they
don't
got? They
sound
just
like
got
that, by the way.
potatoes.
They just got potatoes. They got potatoes, and okay, honestly, some beautiful landscapes. We can all agree, but we're Butte, damn it. The shining star of the world for culture and jobs. That's why we're
in Butte.
That's why we're the richest hill on earth. That's right, Butte. I just got handed this piece of paper, and it said that we need to cut down on the Butte jokes because the people are finding it a little offensive. But
Let's just
move
on, I guess.
We'll move on, I guess. Edgar, Edgar, you were talking about the Nintendo.
Yes, I was talking about Kirby, which is called the Lost Lands. I think that's what it's called, Kirby. It's a new Kirby game, but not just any Kirby game.
It's a 3D platformer.
It's the first. Oh my god. I looked up Kirby because I was like, let me look up Kirby, and one of the images it shows is Kirby with like very buff legs and arms.
Oh yes,
his natural form.
Oh, there we go. It's Kirby.
Wait, have we determined the gender of Kirby? Like we say him. Is it a he?
Yes,
or is Kirby is Kirby more like a
from
you know?
from what from what
Is Kirby more like a feeling? I got a feeling, Kirby, that tonight's gonna be a Kirby. Tonight's gonna be a Kirby.
But from what Father Sakurai says since he's the creator of Kirby, he calls him a he most of the time we see him. So, I guess
Okay.
so.
Well,
He's
now we know.
yeah, but it's called Kirby the Forgotten Land, and it's basically The Last of Us Part 3,
Forgotten
but
Land, which of course is a reference to Butte, Montana.
oh my god. It's the Kirby The Lost Land is basically, it looks like The Last of Us Part 3, but it takes place in Kirby's perspective. And we don't know we don't know much of it other than it's finally, it looks like what a lot of like Kirby fans have been wanting, which is branching out from just the 3D 2D, like the 2D aspect of it, but give it that like more of like a free roaming thing. Not much of an open world, but like a bigger 3D environment to play around, and that's what it looks like. And the game looks kind of fun. Looks like it's trying to amp up with some bigger like some cooler boss fights. And of course, if you know Kirby lore, you know a lot of the times the ending of the games are always some really creepy shit. So the way this, and especially since this, how we know what the setting is in this game, is going to be some really fucking weird shit. It's because I forgot what one of the enemies was, but like one of the enemies is basically like a demonic god or something like that, and it could separate, and basically they're fighting with like galaxies and shit that could destroy the entire universe and stuff. But
all I know is that I'm excited for it. I
same
haven't really
here.
been excited for a Kirby game before.
Oh yeah, especially since Star Allies just was really playing. It was playing safe, and this one looks like that they're really going out for the risk, trying something new. And I am like, hell yeah, give me that good shit, give me that good Kirby shit, bro. And the next one, the other big highlight they had was they talked about their online, Nintendo Online, more of their like gaming, the service that they give for the games. And
I
they
lost my shit on this.
they announced N64 games, about like, which is about time. And not only did they announce that, they also announced Sega Genesis games, which that like took me for a loop. I was like, what the fuck, Sega Genesis? And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool still. But the N64 one was really cool because like it's like, oh yeah, give us what we fucking wanted, like some N64 games. Hopefully
poorly aged thing. It would be with Sega Genesis ads where it's like Sega does what Nintendo don't, and then now
and now they're in a Nintendo Online system.
they're on Nintendo Online. Yeah,
And the games that they have on the lineup is pretty solid. It's pretty solid, and especially that they're saying that they're going to continue adding more games like they did with like the NES Online and the SNES Online. So I'm like, hell yeah! And one of the games they put this at the end of like, oh, here's some of the games that are coming in the lineup for the N64 Online. And as it scrolls down and it's sliding there, I'm like, oh, cool. Mario Tennis is Mario Golf is coming in. It's like, oh damn, like all this stuff, and then Paper Mario comes out and you're like, pretty cool. And then at the end of it, they show Banjo-Kazooie, which that's the first time Banjo has come back on a Nintendo system for a long ass time. I always thought they were going to bring it like with the Rareware collection they were going to get, but I'm like, holy shit, even Xbox acknowledged it, Rare acknowledged it like through posts on Twitter, and I'm really excited for that because I'm just like, I wonder like what other Rare games that they add.
Also, they also announced wireless controllers for the Switch. Two of them, one of them being Nintendo 64 wireless controller, and the other being a Sega Genesis wireless controller. But it's the first version of it, not the one with the 6 buttons. This one only has 3.
Yeah, that's the one that they had, and I think I most likely I'm probably gonna pick up the N64 wireless controller because that kind of looks cool. I'm just like, okay, why not? I'll purchase it. That looks damn cool. I just kind of hope, and what's cool about it is they're also adding online multiplayer, so you could actually play one of the games that they'll have is Mario Tennis and Mario Kart 64, which those I believe you could be able to play those online, locally or online, which is pretty fucking cool.
If they do Banjo-Tooie, I don't know. I don't know if Banjo-Kazooie. I can't remember if Banjo-Kazooie had multiplayer, but I know Banjo-Tooie did.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
So that's something to think about. Of like,
True
oh
that.
shit,
Oh man, if
We're
they
all gonna meet up at Robin's place, and we're all gonna do
we're gonna duke it out on.
multiplayer. Yeah, I'm gonna be the bird
Oh,
or possibly the monkey,
I
and
wish
Robin's
they
gonna be the fox.
Oh, you know what that means? They might also hopefully they add Diddy Kong Racing.
thinking of Diddy Kong Racing, but also I hope that they add the first Smash Bros. Game.
Ooh, Smash Bros, Mario Party.
Mm-hmm.
Those are games that like that's so they're because they're already adding the first lineup is Mario. It's Mario Kart 64, Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Star Fox 64, which that has also multiplayer.
And
Mario.
as much as I would love to see GoldenEye, it probably won't happen because they couldn't get the rights for it for the Rare replay.
Mhm.
So I don't know if it'll happen for this one. I wanted to.
Robin, are you eating a bowl of cereal?
No, I'm eating shrimp Diablo.
Okay. Well, that's just rude. Because I want some now.
I know.
And I don't care if anyone else wants some, but I want some. You know what? No. This is the point of the thing where we do the thing about what Robin's eating. Hey, Robin, please describe the food.
Well, it's a shrimp Diablo
Yeah.
with spaghetti.
Uh-huh.
Spaghetti pasta with shrimp, spinach, some diced onion, some garlic. I don't know what the sauce is. I think it's
Diablo sauce, apparently.
but
Is
I
it?
think it's vegetable broth.
Ooh.
And with some I think because it's Diablo, it has some chili flakes in it. I added some more garlic powder on it because when it comes to Italian dishes, I like my stuff.
You like what on
Robin,
your stuff?
I've got to interrupt you. I got this piece of paper here. The people of Butte want to know: do you have enough for the rest of the town?
I don't know. Steve is shaking his head violently.
Okay, sorry, Butte. No shrimps, Diablos for yous. Okays. So extra garlic powder, you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Extra garlic powder. I like to do that on almost all Italian dishes.
Italian.
Okay. Well, that was a good What's Robin eating. Back to the thing we were talking about. Something about Jigglypuff and games.
Ooh, they could
Edgar?
as I was saying, I'm like there's a lot of other multiplayer games they could add. You could add the Pokemon tournament. Pokemon
Stadium.
Yeah, Pokemon Stadium. Like they could add those. I know they already have in their lineup Mario Golf. They have Majora's Mask. They got F-Zero, and that's gonna be some fun. F-Zero online, hell yeah.
Yep.
But I think like this would be like the best time they add a lot of their multiplayer because that's what the N64 originally was known for. They were known for like their multiplayer aspect of the games.
Yeah. And before we move on to the last thing that they announced, the big news, they did announce two things. They did announcements for announcements.
Oh yeah.
One of them being the announcement for the final Smash character that will be coming out in October, and then an announcement for a new
Animal Crossing Direct. Which is going to be in October.
For me, I had a problem with it mostly because it's like, if you're not going to show anything, why are you just why not just post on social media that like, hey, here comes a thing.
Yeah, I know that.
Putting it in a direct.
Those couple of seconds were weird. I was like, huh. I knew the Smash Brother one. I felt like I was like kind of fine. The Animal Crossing was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. Like, I'm kind of surprised that they're having their own direct. So that means I'm kind of hoping that means that they have more to show than just announcing that they're bringing back the cafe. Because I'm like, if it was just a cafe, they could have just had it on their direct. But if they if they have the Animal Crossing direct, I feel like they have something more to show.
I have a feeling that because of the Smash Bros thing, because it's the last character reveal thing,
Mhm.
it's they're making it its own thing because it's the last one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And also, I think like it's going to be a pretty big character. The fact that they're putting like it's its own thing.
Mhm.
Um,
Because I know that's what they did for Smash Bros. Wii U when because they did like they announced it during Direct as well. Hence why I'm not really that kind of annoyed when they said, "Oh, like, hey, we're announcing a Sakurai Presents like at October 5th." Because they did that like on the last time at like not last year's Direct. It was back in the Wii U era. That's when they announced Cloud for Smash. They're like, hey, on December we're going to show the final character for Smash, and obviously for Wii U, everyone knew the last character that was what's they called that it was Bayonetta. So this one, it's like if they're doing that, I don't think I'm really hoping because I'm really hoping it's not a Pokemon.
I'm hoping it's Master Chief. I'll be perfectly honest. Hoping it's
Oh,
either him or
I'm
it's
hoping
Doom
it's
Guy.
Tiny from Clay Fighters.
Clay Fighters.
From the
Yeah.
N64 era.
That actually.
No, that Clay Fighters was from was from the Super Nintendo era. Now they made one I think for the N64, but
Mhm.
the second one, but no, Tiny or there were several other good characters you could use from Clay Fighter, but Tiny was probably evil Mr. Snowman, I think. Bad
Yeah,
Mr.
he's
Frosty was his name.
the main
And
character.
then
Well, not main character, but main guy.
Helga,
Mm.
Helga, a heavy set Viking opera singer. She's
Hmm.
fun. Or
Oh,
you
what
know,
the hell? It was made by Interplay. They're the same
Clay
guys who
Fighter.
made. Yeah, they're the same guys who made the first two Fallout games, or the Fallout 1, 2, and Brotherhood of Steel. No, sorry, not Brotherhood of. Did they do Brotherhood of Steel? No, they didn't. That was a bad one though. But they
Mm.
did Fallout 1, 2, and Fallout Tactics.
Tactics?
Yeah.
Okay.
All I'm saying is that it would be funny if there was a Clay Fighter in the game. It'd be fun.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I don't know what character I would like. I think the ones that I want are very not obscure, but like have I don't think they have any chance of being in there.
Think we could get Pong?
Pong's an assist trophy.
No. I mean, as a fighter.
He's an assist, but I mean at the same time,
It's just two lines with an orb in the middle, and
yeah.
sometimes it shoots the orb and punches with
Well,
the orb, and
it's
sometimes it
because
can fly.
it's because he's an assist trophy, meaning that whenever in the game when you pick up an assist trophy, he has a chance of popping out. So he's already like a quote unquote fighter, but not a fighter because he's an assist trophy, just like how Waluigi's assist trophy. So unless they
Mockery.
because that's how like I feel like if that's what it is, if they do break out of it and be like, hey, we're gonna get an assist trophy to go in there, because hell, I would love if they added Shovel Knight as a fighter, but but he's an assist trophy, so I'm bummed about that, but it's like a man could dream. Um, but a big character, it could be Crash, it could be Master Chief, it could be any character
Could be
like.
Doom Guy is a big one too.
Mm-hmm. I just kind of hope he just brings something like it's like a crazy character. Like it could be. I feel like it would be cool if it's some obscure character or something
Hubert?
like
Hubert.
Hubert.
I feel like isn't he an assist trophy as well?
No, I
Or
think
am I thinking of something else?
no. That's someone else. There's
And all Hubert does is hop.
because I know.
Wait, I feel like didn't they make the Kubrick map like a fighting stage?
No.
Or am I imagining that? I feel
You're imagining that Cubert never had a stage. The one you're probably thinking is the 3DS version of Pac-Man stage, which should have been it should have been in the fucking game, but I don't know why he put Pac-Land 2, whatever the fuck that map is. It's like one of the worst maps. He could have put the 3DS Pac-Man stage, which would have been 1,000 times better. But
anyway, we could go on and on forever.
yeah, I for me it's like, yeah, my character I would.
I'm gonna ask you to stop.
For me it's like I would like Ratchet and Clank in the game. I feel like they've been a cool like Sony
just
rep.
Ratchet, no Clank.
But they're a duo. It would be that
Clank and not Ratchet.
Or help. I would love I would be flipping my shit if it was Kratos, but I know that's never gonna happen.
That'd be funny. Like that's how they introduce the fucking like the Greek choir.
Oh man, I would be flipping my shit. I might shed it.
Like
I might shed like a tear if like they do.
I just like go into the void when I said that.
Yeah, it's someone's punishment.
But I do like that idea, Captain Volker, where they do a Ratchet and Clank and then like it's a riveting kit as well. Like it's like skin swaps. That would be really dope. Especially they use a lot of from their previous stuff because they have a cool variety. They have a variety of weapons that you could use, and I feel like that would make them like a really fun character. Same thing with Kratos, especially since he's also kind of like, especially the original trilogy of God of War, the way that he plays would fit like really well. It would be similar to how Bayonetta plays in Smash Brothers. So
the only thing is that like I mean that would be cool. It's just that I don't think PlayStation would be willing to give, you know.
Oh yeah, obviously. This is just like this is just my dream characters.
Yeah. What about Homer Simpson from the game?
Hit and Run.
Hit and Run.
Hit and Run, yeah. And it'll be like the Pokemon where you can switch them out randomly, and it's like, you get Homer, and then you get Marge, and then you get Grandpa.
That would be
the three most important characters.
That would break the internet because people would be like, because they're not video game characters, they're from a TV show. But I feel like
video game characters because they were in a video game, just like Harry Potter is a video game character. Han Solo is a video game character.
Yeah, that same there. Like that's also another dream character of mine is Doom Guy. My other one, I would love a Mortal Kombat character in Smash Brothers. I feel like that would be so cool.
That would be cool, but it'd be kind of weird.
What do you mean? The whole roster of Smash Brothers is weird.
No, but like specifically for a Mortal Kombat with their fighting style, and like comparing it to like to it makes sense for Street Fighter to be in it because there's not, you're not going to be used to seeing blood and gore and shit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you play
ripped the spine out of Mario, I think that might be an issue.
No, well, I know. Well, if they add him in, obviously, I know how there's gonna be a workaround with it because Bayonetta, it's an M-rated game. She is like, if you play her games, they're M-rated. And they have her in the game. Because Robert, you're like, it'd be weird. I'm like, they have M-rated characters. They have Solid Snake in the fucking game. They have Bayonetta. They got Solid Snake in there. I'm like, that kind of
when Robin's attacked, he just backs down like a bitch.
Because I just like when it was like, I don't know, that kind of like triggered my brain because I'm like, there's a lot of like M-rated characters in Smash Brothers, like Bayonetta and Metal Gear Solid. It's like. That's
wait. What if one of the cars from Daytona, USA was part of Smash? You just into people.
That would be.
We're making another pass. You gotta get for a pit stop.
Here comes Dale Earnhardt.
Oh my!
Stop it!
Oh my God, that'd be great. The other character, I think, like it would be a left field. Just add a GTA character. Just do it.
What about Bass from Bass Fisherman 2004?
What is that?
The bass. When you, it's
Like
a
the
fishing
fish.
game.
Oh,
It's a
the
fishing-
fucking fish.
It's a fishing game. It's just a bass. It's yeah. You know.
Just a fish.
Oh.
Just do it, Sakurai. Add a fish in the game.
Wait. Actually, what was the game? You can get it on the Switch now because they have the things where Robin, you can help explain where it's old games that they have on the
Well,
Switch
I don't.
for
Yeah,
free.
but which game?
And
What game are you
well, no,
talking?
I wanted to oh my god, I wanted to explain what it was before we got to the actual thing. From Ghouls and Goblins or whatever it's called. The guy that gets random like you get you're in the suit of armor.
the King
Oh, King Arthur?
guy? Yeah.
Yeah, and he gets all the like there's all those random like weapons and things and you can just like is it
Yeah.
Arthur? I
Yeah,
thought
his
it was
name
just a
Yeah.
dude.
his name's
I didn't
Arthur.
know.
Yeah, his name's
All right,
Arthur.
Arthur. You
Because I
put
know
Arthur in there.
because I know he's in the Knight Arthur is in Marvel vs. Capcom. He's been in those games.
Now I'm thinking, put Arthur
Arthur.
Arthur Reed from the PBS show Arthur.
Dude, we could have a badass stage with Arthur. It's like his neighborhood, and you see all his friends, Binky, Buster.
Just seeing him getting the crap beaten out of him.
Oh my god, that would be a funny trailer where it's not him like winning the fight; it's him getting his ass kicked by everyone.
He doesn't win. There's no happy ending.
And I said, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. Boom, where you get your ass kicked every day.
Montage of him getting the shit beaten out.
Oh, that's great.
So
Killing Donkey Kong, hooray!
But before we get to the final one that got me really excited was there was another game that they showed off that got me really excited because I'm personally am a huge Splatoon fan, and I love that they were showing a lot of more stuff of Splatoon 3. There was still no release date, but they showed gameplay, and they showed a lot of there was like new weapons, new specials that you could save up and do where like you could like now sling through the walls. There's like a giant crab robot that you could ride around and it'll shoot paint. I don't know if that's a special or it's an actual weapon. Excuse me. If that's a weapon, holy shit. I'm like, that's super cool. And it looks like I don't know what other mechanics will add. The single player looks interesting though. Because as you can tell, I've said it multiple times in the show, I'm not a big fan of shooters. I'm not like an FPS kind of guy. I like certain ones like Doom or Wolfenstein or like certain fun ones like Unreal Tournament. But Splatoon is like a third person shooter game where you don't have to kill the squids, but you can. The goal is to paint the whole area, and whoever has the most paint, wins the match. And for some reason, that game just hooked me, and I fucking love that game. And I put a lot of hours in Splatoon 2, just like I did with Tetris 99. And man, I am so excited for Splatoon 3.
Tetris, that would be a great one to add to
Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers, because you just blocks.
Well,
Anyway,
not gonna lie, Will. I'm not gonna lie. I would fucking be happy if they added a Tetris piece as a fighter. I'd fucking love that.
It's just a walking piece.
I would laugh, but I would like freak out. I'm like, hell yeah, Tetris representation, and then some dope ass music from Tetris.
Then you have that Russian song come in.
But yes, it looks like they're actually gonna make like a very more like a meatier, fleshed out single player, especially after the DLC they released for the Octolinks pack that they released for Splatoon 2, where it did a more fleshed out story, especially and the way that the game looks and where it takes place. It's literally after like one of the matches and big events that they had in Splatoon 2 that was going to be the result of Splatoon 3, from what I've heard and people's theories and stuff. But I'm fucking excited for Splatoon 3. I know I might be alone on this, but I'm fucking excited for Splatoon 3. And then of course we get to the final game. Now, if you're me, you like Platinum games. They made a wonderful 101. They've made Astral Chain, and you watched it, and it shows some towers and stuff. And I see the tower that says 101. I'm like, wonderful 101 too? Like, are they doing another wonderful 101? And then I see Platinum's like name in like one of the poster boards. I'm like, oh shit, it's a Platinum game. I'm like, wait a minute, is this what I think it is? Are they finally gonna show the game? And then as it goes and you see military people, and I'm like, wait, is this like this weird game they were trying to rumor a long while ago? And it just keeps on going. You see these weird monsters that come out, and I'm like, wait, what the hell's going on? I'm like, it can't be what it is, because I'm like, that's too good to be true. And as it continues going on, one of the monsters, like, they're killing these military guys, and then one of the monsters is about to hit again, but then they get shot, and I'm like, it is that Bayonetta's coming back. And then it turns out, and they do a twist on you. It's the Astral Chain dog, and I'm like, what the fuck, Astral Chain 2? Why are they making that before Bayonetta 3? And then when you try to slash, Witch Time was triggered, and she comes out from behind and kills the monster, and we finally see Bayonetta in action for Bayonetta 3, and they showed some gameplay, and oh my god, I am fucking excited. Finally, since 2017 at the Game Awards, 2017 at the Game Awards, when Reggie announced Bayonetta 3, that was the last time we heard anything from the game. Other than that, we just heard from the producers and the creators from the game saying like, "Oh, we're in good production, we're doing good." And a lot of people were like, if they did not show Bayonetta 3, then something must have been wrong. And they finally showed it. There's like some new, it's like the gameplay is fucking great. Bayonetta's outfit looks badass. She looks cool as hell. And one of the new things that I saw that they added into this game is now that because they had like these specials at like toward in like Bayo 2, I believe, where like these giant, like you get one of these like these special monsters that attack for like a finishing move. But now this one, it looks like you can have kaiju fights. So like you have that one of her big monsters, I forgot the name, then you have like that bird, and then you have the giant spider that has like a scorpion tail that comes out at the end of it. And ooh, man, the gameplay looks super clean. I kind of wish that Nintendo made us Nintendo Switch Pro just so we could have it look visually much better. But I'm still gonna that's day one pickup, and they announced it comes out in 2022. No like concrete date around what 2022. I really hope it's early or like in the summer, because I'm gonna go back and play some Bayo 1 and 2 to refresh myself and go in. But yes, I've heard a lot of theories of there's like a theory going around that I won't say about Bayo 3 of like how she looks and who she is and all that stuff. But it's like some people say like, okay, I agree with that. Other people are like, no, it can't be that. But there's a lot of theories with those. But 2022 it comes out, and I'm so fucking ready. I'm ready to play as Bayonetta. Hell fucking yeah. I'm super excited. Sorry, I just had a rant about that too. Just like Kirby, I was super hyped for that.
So, the one movie news that surprisingly...
Oh yeah, I forgot we skipped through the whole thing. But also during the direct, Mr. Shigeru Miyamoto comes in, and he's all like, "Hey everybody, I'm Shigeru Miyamoto. I made Mario." And we're like, is he going to announce a Mario game? He's like, recently I'm working with the company Illumination. I'm like, oh shit, he's going to talk about the movie? Are we getting the trailer one? And he's like, well, we can't show you nothing yet, but we have the announcement the movie comes out in December of 2022. Forgot what day. But he's all like, we're not.
They only said December
no,
2022. I don't think
they said it was December 20-something 2022, because they said that's the North American release.
22nd?
Yeah. That's the North American release. The European and Japanese releases, they haven't announced those yet. But for the North American, they did. And they said like, okay, so while we're here, we don't have like much we don't have any footage to show you yet until later on, but we do want to show you guys the cast for the movie. And this is what like we all want to talk about. So Mr. Miyamoto, I guess he likes these movie stars, and he added them. Some of them are cool. Some of them are kind of like, uh, what the fuck? But let's start off with the first one they showed off, which broke the internet by storm, and I was laughing my ass off when I heard this. So you guys wonder, is Charles Martinet gonna come back and voice Mario? No. He's only gonna be there for cameos and surprise stuff that we don't know yet, but that's what Miyamoto said. So everyone's like, oh, so who's gonna play Mario? It's like, it's gonna be someone, who's got the accent or something that like similar like that, something like to how from the Mario 1 movie. I'm so sorry, I can't remember the beautiful man's name who played Mario and Mario Brothers. Bob Hoskins, yeah. But no, we're not getting someone like that. Not Danny DeVito either. Nope, he's not in it. Chris Pratt is voicing Mario.
Famous short, rotund, Italian mustached man, Chris Pratt.
The guy from that...
For being short, rotund, Italian, and mustache.
The guy who's been in the Jurassic Park movies, who's fucking Star-Lord, is playing Mario. I was like, what in the fuck? What in the fuck? And it doesn't stop there. You want to know who's playing his brother Luigi? Which I'm not gonna lie, made me laugh too.
I'm not mad about
John
this.
Leguizamo.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all.
Right?
It's fucking Charlie Day. From It Was Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That man.
Yeah.
That works, though, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm like, okay, I'm excited to see that one because it's like, that was just, I was laughing at that too, but I'm like, okay, I want to see where that goes. But then everyone's wondering, but who's gonna play Princess Peach? It's like, who's gonna play the voice of Princess Peach?
I'm fine with this one too.
Well, let me get to who it is, Robin.
Yeah, I know, but
let me tell the people who it is. It's Anya Taylor-Joy. The recent Golden Globe winner for for Queen's Gambit. She was also in Robert Eager's The Witch. If anyone remembers that, because I do. She was in Emma. It was a movie from 2020. She was also in The Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance, the Netflix show, which I'm so sad that they canceled. I wish they could have continued it. But she's been in a lot of things, a lot of like pretty decent stuff. She's playing Princess Peach. I'm like, look, I'm not bad. I'm mad at that choice. It's just bizarre that they got her for it. That wasn't my first thought they would have gotten for Princess Peach. I was like, what? I just laughed at that too. But then you're like, okay, so we got those, and who's gonna play the big baddie? Who's gonna be the big baddie, the Bowser? Who's gonna be playing Bowser? Who's gonna have that menacing voice? Or what are they gonna do with Bowser? Well, it's none other than Jack Black is playing Bowser.
Jack Black Mario.
I'm like, yeah, that's kind of true, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna lie. One of the things that I think they are gonna do in the movie, there's gonna be a musical number with Bowser, especially since it's Jack Black. They're gonna have some sort of musical number with him. It's so hard to picture Bowser with Jack Black's voice. I can't picture that. It's kind of hard. Same thing with Chris Pratt. It's really hard to picture Chris Pratt's voice as Mario. And it doesn't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. You wonder who's gonna voice Toad? That very annoying "Hi, I'm Toad." That kind of voice. It's none other than Keegan Michael Key. He's voicing Toad, which I'm also fine with. It's weird.
I think will be funny because my other Will noticed that it would be funny if he just did it. Voice.
You're cutting out, Robin.
Robin, you're cutting out.
It would just be really funny if he didn't do a high pitched voice, but he just did his own voice.
Oh, if he was just like, "Hi, I'm Toad. I'm Oh my God, what if he did Toad as Luther, Obama's anger
That's what I keep thinking.
translator?
Yeah.
What if he was just that? What if that was? And I know he's done more than that, and he has, he's a good actor, and like, I'm not trying to boil him down to just that one part, but also that one part's really funny. And what if Toad was just like that all the time? Hi, I'm about to beat your ass, like that kind of shit. Just oh yeah,
Also, they also
Mario.
they also announced there's other characters that are part of the Mario universe coming in. So they announced Donkey Kong is going to be in the film too. We don't know what his part in the movie is going to be or what he's going to do, but we now know who's going to voice Donkey Kong in the movie, and that's none other than Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen is playing Donkey Kong, and you're like, hold up there. Who's gonna play his who's like, if Donkey Kong's there, are we gonna have Diddy Kong? No, you fucking idiot. We're gonna have his Grampy Cranky Kong, who's gonna be voiced by Fred Armisen.
Who is a good choice because he's really good at Fred Armisen is really good at
Voice acting.
Yes. Do not knock out Fred Armisen. He is really good.
I'm not knocking him out. I'll give him a chance. But
in a world filled with old actors, famously old person Fred Armisen. Yeah. Okay.
And we also have we got some other two voices. One is playing Kamek, which is one of the wizard voices. He is being voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson. I don't know much of what he's done, but from what I'm looking in IMDb, he played Goro in the original Mortal Kombat film from 1995. He played from this animated show The Batman, which came out in 2004, 2008. He voiced the Joker, their version of the Joker. He's been he's done
good though. He was good at Joker in that.
Oh, you know what else he's voiced? He's voiced
Gantu.
He's voiced the Mauler twins in Invincible.
Oh wow.
The two blue two blue twins that they would always clone each other. Those were the voices he did. He's also been in a lot. He's known as voice acting. He's been in a lot of voice acting, like a lot of animated shows from here. He's been on like some episodes of Family Guy. He's been on MODOK, that Marvel Hulu show. He's been on American Dad, Robot Chicken, The Simpsons, Masters of the Universe that came out recently. His recent ones are like from Invincible, Adventures in Wonder Park. So yeah, this guy's done a lot of voice acting. Like, he's the one that from here that I know, he's done voice acting, so he knows his stuff.
He was Jimbo on The Boss Baby Back in Business.
Yeah. Robin's favorite TV franchise.
Wait, what?
Jimbo from Boss Baby Back in Business, your favorite sequel ever made.
Yeah. Fuck off.
Also, this one's a
strange. It's what you said.
This is also, the last one is such a strange one for both the actor and the character he's playing. Because the character is Spike, which is based off an old NES game. I forgot the name of it, but it's one of those old NES games they've had. And they're bringing a character in, and we don't know what his part in the movie is going to be until they show something. But he's in the movie. And this is voiced by a guy named Sebastian Maniscalco.
He's a comedian. Sebastian Maniscalco.
He's been on films as Tag, that movie. He's been on The House, Green Book. He's also been in The Irishman. Martin Scorsese's The Irishman.
Well,
he was Crazy Joe Gallo.
He's mostly known for him being a comedian.
Yeah, because it shows. Yeah, there's stuff here that shows that he's done some comedic stuff. But
I mean, he's pretty funny. I'll give him that.
Mm-hmm. But though and of course they said Charles Martinet will be in it as like doing cameos and surprise guesses and stuff. But the question, the main reason, here's the thing, guys. As ridiculous and crazy as this entire cast is, that they just brought these random Hollywood actors, and maybe I was like, I want these people, and he brought them in. as crazy it is, at the end of the day, the reason I am not angry or mad at the choices they picked for this movie is because this is being produced and animated from the company who's made Despicable Me, Minions, Sing, basic Illuminations. So either way, it was already I already had iffy and bad vibes with this film. The only reason there's like that glimmer of hope is when it comes to animation wise, because if you know Illumination is known for on purposely cheapening, like making their animation cheap in order for them to make a better and higher profit in the box office. Hence why when you see a lot of their films, especially with like one of the examples with Sing, is they always rehash and reuse a lot of like animated like characters, like character models when they do like background characters to very like to cheapen out with that. And they do it with their how simplistic their characters are and how they move and all that stuff. But they make a profit because of just how it is. That's what they do. That's how Minions was so popular, because it's a very simple design and they didn't have to like work around it. The only reason I kind of see I would have been scared if Illuminations was in full control with the film, but they're not. Because as Nintendo knows of the past, when they've given their licensing to different companies to make movies or shows, the one that really like set the bar of like, okay, if someone wants to make a movie or show about this, Nintendo's going to be on their ass 24/7. And that was with the old Super Mario Brothers movie, you know, with John Leguizamo as Luigi, and them announcing, hey, it's Mario, Luigi Mario. You remember that movie? No one remembers that movie that much, but you know. But of course, that
Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo. It's a great movie.
Yeah, from what I've seen, from what I've seen from the interviews from like different directors that they've always brought in. I mean, Bob Hoskins almost died on the set, like a lot, and
I mean, like,
and at the same time, if you hear what the if you,
I was gonna say it is a well-known movie because
You're cutting out, Robin.
I'm like right up close to the mic.
I don't know what to tell you. You're cutting out. I'm stating a fact.
It is a well-known movie because
it's based it's
it is. Oh my god, my fucking.
It's the movie's known. It's known well because it's known to be one of the worst video game movies out there, as it's been called.
What are you talking about? It's hilarious.
I mean, it is funny. It's bad.
It's funny bad, not like in a good way, but
yeah, but it's hilarious. 5 stars. If we reviewed that movie, I'd give it 5 stars.
Bro, in a funny factor, I'd probably the same way. Who knows? We might review it someday if you guys want us to. So who knows? But
oh no, we're not doing it. I don't actually want to review it. I want to remember it as I do when I was 5 and I was like, ha ha, funny.
But
I don't want to analyze my views.
Mm-hmm. It's just, and for me, I don't know how they're gonna, and for me, it's like, since now Nintendo and especially Miyamoto is very like close, like face to face, close to close with the company itself when they're making this film. So like anything that they want, like any ideas or any like kind of like work or like anything, any little thing that Illuminations wants to do with the film, it has to get approved by Nintendo and Miyamoto themselves. So that's why I'm like, okay, there could be some good, could be some bad in it, but we can't know until we see the film, because I don't know how it's going to be animated, what they're going to do with it. It's really up in the air until we see a trailer for the film, because it's I don't know how it's going to be. It's by Illuminations, but we'll see what Nintendo cooks up with them. And the movie comes out in 2022, ladies and gentlemen. So most likely next year, probably in the summer, or most likely around the summer, or maybe like when the new year comes in, we might see a trailer, like a first reveal trailer for the Mario movie. It's just called the Mario movie right now. That's all I've gotten. They haven't given a title or anything, just the cast and the announcement. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have any crazy thoughts of this entire announcement of cast.
Well, I'm gonna say, like, even though it's batshit insane to hear that, yeah, that not batshit insane. It is weird to hear that Chris Pratt is gonna be voicing Mario, but I will say, like, we haven't heard how he's doing it,
Mhm.
except he posted, like, a video of him fucking with us about how he's gonna do the Mario voice.
Yeah.
Um, Also, because, like, yeah, we haven't seen any trailer. There's no trailer yet. We don't know what they're gonna sound like. And also, like, Chris Pratt was also Emmett in the Lego movies.
Mhm.
So I mean,
Well, at the same he did Emmett, but that was his own voice. So
yeah,
it's
but
that's why I'm like, it's like until we see how he sounds, then I can fully give my judgment. It's just other than right now, it's just like it's the weirdest pick they've ever done. I feel like they could have gotten someone else for it, but until we see what they do, I just
right
want to.
now,
Other than that, I just want to hear how Charlie, Seth, and Jack Black are gonna sound in the movie. I just want to laugh at that. That's who I
I
want
want
to
to make
hear.
a counter offer to this movie.
Oh.
And as we all know, Nintendo listens to me
and just me.
and just me on all their business plans. Danny DeVito, great actor, great voice actor,
Hmm.
just great. Danny DeVito, and I put a tweet out about this. Danny DeVito as all of the parts in the movie. Mario, Luigi, Wario, King, Bomb Bomb, Bowser, Peach, Toad, Toadette, the Koopa Troopas, the mushrooms, uh, the football guys. They're all Danny DeVito. All of them. The wizards are Danny DeVito. The mushrooms, like the power ups, are all Danny DeVito. But make it live action, you goddamn cowards. Just
uh,
Danny DeVito in a dress and a wig going, "Hi, I'm Peach."
I feel like that I can imagine that as like a Sunny in Philadelphia episode.
It's a me,
I
Toboggan,
I would
Mantis Toboggan.
I would just love like Sunny in Philadelphia does an episode where like it's kind of Mario themed since Charlie's in the film as Luigi. I don't know. I would just like to see an episode
That'd
like
be
that.
goddamn hilarious.
That'd be great. Just acknowledge that he
Charlie,
was in
you
it.
can't run around in a Mario outfit. Well, I think I can run around in a Mario outfit.
Oh, that'd be. Oh,
I mean,
oh.
I'm already stepping on rats. So I
I'm already
mean,
stepping on rats. I'm in the pipes. I'm in the sewers. I'm just like Mario. I got gold coins. Charlie, where'd you get gold coins?
oh, I
Give
found them.
those to
They're
me.
just in the sewer.
This is a Charlie. This is a Krugerrand. You can't have this. It's illegal.
Anyway, so
but but that's
that's pretty much it for the gaming stuff and the movie thing.
yeah. So
Now to finally talk about what we came here for.
yeah, which we're finally talking about since last week was Will's pick, which we did Q Force. Now this week it's Robin's pick for which. So tell us what we watched, Robin.
Well, we watched the first season of the Amazon show Man in the High Castle, which is a alternate history TV show where it's set in a world where the Axis won World War II and successfully in somehow. And taking out the strategics of it, looking at Stefan with this, taking the strategic stuff out of it, they were able to successfully invade the United States and take the Germans were able to take the eastern half up all the way till up to the Rockies of the United States, and the Japanese were able to take the western states up until the again to the Rockies, and or I think it's the Rockies, and then there's a slight sliver in between in the Rocky Mountain regions where it's the quote unquote I think it's like the border lands
Neutral
area.
zone.
Yeah,
Neutral
neutral
zone.
zone.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
and it's essentially basically just the Cold Wars happening between these two powers, and there are these mysterious tapes showing up all over the world, specifically in the United States, where it shows our world where we actually won the war.
Hmm.
So that's the basic premise of what it is. But we'll go into full. We'll talk a bit more about how the
Hmm.
show is. So,
Yeah, I know. Before we get into the thing, do we want to go? Since I know the show has ended, do we want to go spoilers for the first season or just keep it?
I, I'd say so because there's not that many spoilers really in the first one in the
Mm,
first season compared to the other three seasons. So, I
mhm.
mean, yeah, we could talk about it. Like, obviously, I don't feel it feels like I don't think we're going to be able to go because of just how long it is, how long each episode was, go into full
Each
in depth
episode is like
detail.
55 minutes and there's 10 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So we are not going into full detail. We will be here for far too long.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. But it was a pretty like for the first season it was interesting. Like it caught I mean it caught me interested because I will say after I'll get ahead of myself, but like after I finished the first season, I started going to season two, especially since it ended the first season. I was like, wait, what? And I was like, no, let me continue this.
yeah.
So, but even like throughout the first season in general, like the idea and like the questions that they were bringing us upon and what we were thinking, like where are these tapes from? How are we getting these tapes? What are these tapes? And it's and that part was intriguing me, especially since this basically is what if the Nazis won World War II, and how everything looks is like the setting and everything looks intriguing because it's just like it's this really like nightmarish world in our perspective. It's just because it's like you'll see like New York City, like in like the first episode where like their billboards, there's like swastikas everywhere, and it's just like, oh my god. And everyone's like running around. The United States flag is basically the swastika,
The
and
United, yeah, the United States flag looks like the American flag, but without the stars, it has the a white swastika over it.
Mhm. And I like how you told me like when you pointed it out because I started noticing it. It's like people who are like that are from like not from America. They're wearing like the regular like the Nazi band that they wore. But if
Sure.
they're from America, they have that band, but it has like red and white stripes with it.
On one half of it.
Hmm.
So it's like one half of it has the red one. It's kind of like how back in reality in World War II, where if you were in Austria, it was kind of like it would be one red bar going all across, then it's a white bar, then a red bar,
Hmm.
and that would be the it would that's what mostly the Austrian Nazi officials would be wearing that.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, but I like that attention detail they add into this show, like how much like they put into this show,
yeah,
and even like they have like there was an episode where it was like basically their like 4th of July, their VA day, that's what they call it,
yeah,
and it's just and like if it's just watching how everyone acts, it's like especially how you get to know these characters, it's just even at that point like you still like you have to remember like it's like it's a world of like full with Nazis when they won and they took over America, and it's just it's like a weird but scary kind of thing but intriguing
yeah.
at the same time. But uh I even like the first episode did like I got hooked with the first episode. It intrigued even how they ended it where how how do you say, because the ones that we follow are these characters, Juliana, and then we
Yeah.
have Joe, then we got
Frank.
Frank as well, who is an artist but he's also he doesn't say it out because like they're still like if they hear that you're because he's Jewish as well in the show, and if they hear that he's Jewish then obviously they would kill him.
well, he's like a postmodern artist.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I in that he's not a hyper traditional artist. So okay, so Juliana and Frank live on the West Coast, so they live in
The Pacific
the
states.
the Pacific states of the Japanese Empire.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like he's an artist, but he doesn't do the right kind of art. He doesn't do traditionalist art. And so the state has deemed non-traditionalist art as, I think, deviant art, essentially.
And it's
Mhm.
kind yeah,
Because
it's kind of a weird
and that's actually kind of interesting. So one of the things that and we've said this, that okay, so the Empire of Japan and the greater Nazi Reich are in a Cold War, essentially.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
in that, like, they've agreed that peace is the best thing to be had between them, because in this universe, the Nazis win, the Japanese Empire wins, and the Emperor is alive and Hitler is alive still. And they
Mhm.
both agree, as the leaders of their states, that peace is the best course of action. Underlings in those states don't necessarily agree that peace is the best course of action. And the Germans are more technologically advanced because they're the ones who dropped the bomb. Um, so the Germans have influence over a lot of Japanese laws, and we know that because they have the Japanese adopt a uh, anti-Semitic policy in the show,
Mhm.
Mhm.
because they say, we have taken on the same race laws as our German counterparts here in America.
Mhm.
And the leader of the Japanese secret police,
The
or not so
Komatai.
yeah, the Kepetai.
Kepatai. Yeah, that's what it is.
He's like, we don't have any Jews in Japan. We don't really care about that issue, but we have adopted the same laws as our German counterparts here in America, and therefore, Frank, because your grandfather was Jewish, we can bring you in and all that, and they do. But
Mhm.
he's also an artist, and one of the lines in the show is like, "Hey, you're an artist. You should keep doing art." And he goes, "They don't want my art. They think it's deviant." So
Mhm.
like, you have like hyper traditionalism on both sides in America. Um, so they just have a lot of like really kind of small things in the show that
Mhm.
show, like, other than, like, spoiler alert, uh the Nazis are like attempting to like goad the Japanese Empire into a war.
Yeah, because
Um
basically in the show, um, everyone noticed that because Robin had to tell me that Hitler did have Parkinson's. I didn't know that personally, but in the because in the show they do mention that he has that they notice that Hitler's has Parkinson's is getting worse, and Hitler's old in the show, and a lot of the people, like a German people, or they're waiting for him to die so they could begin and start this war. And so like it's this ongoing thing where they're trying to kill him early so they can start and begin this war so because they want to control the entire world. They want to control all of America and just take away from, they don't want the peace, they want power, they want war. And it was Robin, like, who later told me that, like, in real life Hitler did have Parkinson's, which that I didn't know.
Yeah, they were trying to hide it because they didn't want to show their leader, who has been proclaiming that we need to retain the Aryan race and be the most perfect people, have this debilitating disease.
okay,
So,
I just want to point out something that Stefan said in chat. This goes back to uh the leader of the Kepetai saying, like, we don't have Jews in Japan, so it's not really like an issue
Oh.
for us. And he says, we have the Tanaka Steins, but they live in Hokkaido. They're barely even Japanese,
my
which
son.
which uh, I Tanaka Steins, and they live in Hokkaido. They're barely even That's because it's a prefecture, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like the northernmost island. So
Hokkaido is the northern island. It's the head, is like I would like to call it. The head
oh
of
yeah, okay. The head the yeah. So oh yeah. Well, okay, I see that. Yeah, because yeah. Okay. That's a good solid joke, Stefan. Good joke.
um,
Okay.
and then we have Juliana Crane, which her, because we kind of explained Frank's kind of reasoning to,
Oh, Frank's also a machinist. He
yeah,
works in a machine shop where they make reproductions of like old American handguns, but
Mhm.
they're reproductions and they don't fire. That's it. They're just pretty.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and
that's Frank.
yeah, and Frank. They're all kind of interconnected in some way with these tapes, because the main character Juliana, is wanting to find out why her, in the first episode, her sister gets killed because she gets
Mhm.
captured, and gives her sister Juliana a tape, and like, you need to take this to Cannon City in the neutral zone.
Mhm.
And I can't explain why. I have to go, and then we find out. Then she gets shot, and then uh, Juliana's off on her adventure to go to Cannon City and find out what the hell is this tape I was just this tape reel I was just given. Why is it so important? To then later, she then finds out that, oh shit, this shows us winning the war.
Yeah. And so like now, like with Juliana, like her herself is like the main of like of everything, how everything is like intertwined and connecting with each other. Because it like it's kind of like the best way I could describe how the show structures itself in each episode. It's like Game of Thrones, where it's each episode, like they'll always focus on a certain group or like a certain person, and like it's like, so sometimes we'll focus on Juliana when it's her, or sometimes we'll focus on Frank, or we'll focus on the ambassadors, or like these Nazi generals, and it goes like we hear their stories and they're going on, but like it always is going to interconnect, and there's always some connection with each other, with like everyone in this show, of like what's going on. And so, I like that kind. I'm used to that, especially with Game of Thrones, so it wasn't a problem with me getting used to the structure of how the show is. So it just made it like intriguing,
It's also
especially with the premise with it.
it's also interesting to see that there are some good people on both sides, in terms of in the Nazi party, and then in the
I'm sorry. You're gonna have to
yeah,
rephrase
rephrase that. Yeah, I just caught myself.
Robin, you're gonna have to rephrase
Yeah,
that. We're taking it from the top.
it's interesting to know that there are some in the show, that there are these two good people, specifically two people.
In
One
the
of them
show.
in the show, that happens to be one of them happens to be one of the ambassadors from the German side,
Mhm.
who is there to help out the trade minister of the Pacific states, in order to like, I want to, I'm trying to remember, because he was trying to give like a piece of paper to somebody, when, spoiler alert, when there was
Oh,
that
you're talking about
Oh, Rudolph.
Rudolph the
Rudolph.
Swede.
Rudolph.
Yeah, but he's not Swedish.
He's not
It's a
Swedish,
cover up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Vinegar.
Yeah.
When let's see.
Wagner. I think it's Wagner, right?
Rudolph
I thought it was Rudolph Wagner.
Vinegar. Rudolph Wegener. Wegener.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's he he's a colonel. He's the only colonel that gets mentioned.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, Colonel. Blah, 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 blah. Um, but yeah, go on, Robin.
And like, he's trying to give something to somebody that has some high ranking, who's in
Oh,
close contact with
he's
the,
trying to give the secrets to the bomb to the Japanese science minister.
yeah,
Mm.
because they're wanting to, because him and the trade minister are wanting to try to prevent like conflict by giving them the designs to make a nuclear bomb so that they would have one, thus causing, if the Germans wanted to launch one at the Japanese or specifically the Pacific state, then they have leverage, much like in the Cold War. Like, hey, if you launch yours, we'll launch ours.
Right,
Mm,
parody.
yeah.
Yeah.
I will say,
So
because we're speaking of like the characters that you were talking about in the show that are like they're pretty interesting. It caught me by surprise when when Nabasuke Tagomi,
the
the
trade minister,
yeah, the trade minister, is played by uh Hiroyuki, the guy who played none other than Shang Tsung in the 1996 Mortal Kombat film. Because when saw him and I heard his voice, I'm like, hold up a second, is that him? Is that Shang Tsung himself? Holy shit! And through the whole movie, I just liked what he was one of my favorite characters in the show. For me personally, he was always like the
Also,
most. He was the more intriguing character for me personally.
he's also the very, very kind person. Like
Mhm.
he treats everybody like a person, even people who are not, like Juliana Crane. Like
Mhm.
that's what I think. Like, there are, even in this world, there are some good people who
I
are in the
reject I
terrible world.
reject I'm sorry, I just so reject you saying good people.
And well,
I think for the Colonel Wegener isn't a good guy. He's doing a good thing,
he's doing a
but
good
he's
thing.
not a good guy.
It's so fucking weird because it's like, because in
Mhm.
this world, it's like they're the only good people really are the people who are like fighting for freedom, the
Mhm.
resistance. And it's like, but then you also have they have allies that are even working within the big baddies that we know now, with like with the Nazi party, and then with the Japanese Empire.
Yeah, because it's like that through this whole show where like the certain characters that you see that are like that are playing like these actors that are playing like Nazis and these characters, and when we get to know these characters, they always there's these scenes where like it's like these scenes where you feel sympathetic or you feel like bad for them. Excuse me, but like when like even after you finish the episode and you think about it, how it's also it's kind of hard to
Especially,
like to feel like this kind of sympathetic, especially since this isn't a dystopian where in a world where the Nazis won and these
it's
characters are playing Nazis, so it's
it's
like
the same thing with it's the same thing with the character John Smith character,
yeah.
because it's like, there's some moments where you do feel sympathetic for him, but at the end of the day, he's still like the main guy in charge of the greater Nazi Reich
Yeah.
in that world. And especially if you watch the later seasons, you start to feel even more bad for him. But then you still have to remind yourself, because he becomes the main bad guy. Like,
Throughout the throughout the show.
yeah, he is the main bad guy, but you get so much backstory from what he did and who he was before the war ended.
Mhm.
And it's like,
Yeah,
Well,
which they bring up in the first season.
yeah,
yeah, because
they
that's all I've
they
seen right now. The first
they
season.
especially bring it up in the later seasons.
Yeah,
And
Mhm.
but they
yeah,
allude to it in this where the colonel and Obergrubenführer Smith, uh they're like talking, and it's like, "Do you sail much anymore?" And he goes, "No, no, I don't sail much anymore," says Smith. And he's
yeah,
like, "Well, you used to sail all the time when we were in Ohio doing war atrocities and
yeah,
murdering and that kind of thing, and what they would call cleansing, right?"
yeah,
And I just did finger quotes. I did cleansing. And he goes, "And you used to sail all the time, but you don't sail anymore, do you?" Because Colonel Wegener has found he's like, "Yeah, we did terrible things, but he still did them,
Mhm.
right?"
yeah,
So
Yeah.
like he doesn't sail anymore because he thinks of all the terrible things that he's done. But
Mhm.
also in the show, like you say, like as you say, like you feel sympathy and you think, "Oh man, this guy isn't such a bad guy, but only when you compare him to people like Reinhard Heydrich,
Yeah.
who comes into the show, and Reinhard Heydrich is, you know, awful, just
Mhm.
evil personified. And like, Smith's wife says, like, I know he says all of this is for the betterment of the Reich, but I think he enjoys what he does, because he does.
Yeah.
At least Smith has
Yeah.
a small, tiny piece of humanity in him, where he's like, oh yeah, no, the things I've done are terrible, that's why I don't sail anymore, because it reminds me of all the things that I've done, while
Mhm.
maintaining the status quo of horror, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Horror. uh
Yeah.
you know
Like,
and it's interesting. It's like the show's saying, like, hey, here's a bad guy, but there's also a worse guy.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's even more prominent of like what happened, what John Smith goes through the later seasons, and I highly encourage you guys to continue watching it until you
Don't you
finish
tell
it,
me what to do.
because it gets really insane closer to
Mhm.
the later seasons.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I
And
already know one of the things he has to do.
yeah, and another thing that's interesting, so then there's also the character Joe Blake, who
Yeah.
is a
Who's working
spy.
for who's
Yeah,
he's
he's a
working for John Smith through
I
this,
don't
because like it was kind of interesting, because like with the first episode, it's like he joins in to be part of the resistance, and it's not until like at the end of the first episode is when it's revealed that um he
is
is working he is working with John Smith at this point. And then
yeah,
as we get through through the whole season, it's with him trying to like not like it's him changing in how he is, but at the same time it's like it's really like he doesn't want to be who he was before in the show, from what I caught.
yeah. I think there was one part that was just, it was so eerie and so like just gross just to see this happen, like just how nonchalant it was, where
Hmm.
he gets a flat and he on his way to the western states, or to
Hmm.
the neutral zone, and he goes over, and then a cop comes by to help him out, and then they're doing that, and all of a sudden they're just having a normal conversation of what's going on. You start seeing ash starts falling from the sky, because they're close to a crematorium area
Hmm.
for cleansing, and it's just like, this is so fucking eerie. It's the fact that they're having a just a regular conversation, because this guy is just pulling over to help him change his tire. And the fact that it's in the United States that this is happening,
Yeah.
No,
and
it's
it
not.
just,
It's in the greater Reich of North America.
well, yes, but it's still that, the familiarity of like, of seeing that part of the planet, because it's just like, this is our home, and we're seeing
Hmm.
that happen.
I think
Yeah,
the one that kind of got me in that kind of like weird, like, oh, what the heck position, like it was it was that episode where it was like it was VA Day, which is
yeah.
basically their 4th of July. And it was just like how everyone's like happy, and like how they greet each other is like,
These were, and here's the thing you have to keep in mind: they are former Americans, because they were fighting the war against the people that took them over,
yeah.
and that's
Well,
the part
some
that
of
makes it
them,
even
some
more.
of them
Some
weren't.
of them, yeah, some of them, but it's still, that's the part that makes it even more eerie and creepy about it.
Hmm. And like everyone's like saluting with those Nazi salutes,
Yeah,
and like on V Day, and how they say it. It's like
this Victory in America Day is just a
yeah.
weird thing to say.
Mhm. And you see them, like you see kids outside like with fireworks, but also having like like those not like the Nazi American flags that they have, and like
Yeah,
everyone bonds, like John Smith. And through the show, like as we see, like John Smith has a kid, like an older son, the only son he has, and he's like he wants to be like his dad. He wants to live up. He wants to serve his country. But when you hear that he wants to serve his country, he's a Nazi at the end of the day, and it's just it's just so baffling when like how hard it is to sympathize with these characters, especially when it's revealed when he has to take his son to to the nurse's office in school, they tell him that he has, I forgot what what it's called. I don't remember what the name it was.
It doesn't matter because it's a specific.
It's a wasting disease.
Yeah,
The disease that he has is
Mhm.
uh genetic. So like it's a
it's skip
wasting
generation.
disease where it's like he's gonna have like seizures, he's gonna have hand palsies, he's gonna like not be able to walk, and if he has children, they will carry the same gene.
It
And
could
yeah,
also be a thing where it kind of skips a generation as well.
yeah.
So
So
like,
it's an
yeah.
issue for
Mm,
things.
But even then, it's like in that world, it's like if you have a disease that is like that, you're gonna go get euthanized.
Well,
Like
right, that's what the doctor says.
yeah,
mhm,
and that also brings in that slither of humanity from John Smith because he doesn't want to kill his kid,
mhm.
and he
Like
even
he doesn't want to believe that his kid is has
yeah.
this. He believes that his son is pure, and he's a healthy kid, and but it
Well, like
goes through that.
he go. Well, what I'm saying is that he has that bit of humanity to try to save his son, is because
Mhm.
he even goes through the effort of even killing the doctor with the same medicine, quote unquote medicine that he gave John Smith to use on his son.
I don't remember that. I don't know if saw that part, or was it hinted at, or was it shown at
Or was
when
it
he
him?
killed?
Or maybe I went too far.
Damn it, Robin!
God,
Are you giving spoilers to a season we haven't seen? I've seen the season. I know what happens, but
Yeah.
you know that doesn't
Anyway,
mean that Edgar has.
yeah, because I was like, because when you said that, I'm like, wait, he didn't kill him in the first season.
yeah, I might have just gone ahead too far because it all
Fucking Robin
intertwines.
ruining shows and reviews
Anyway,
from
but
Butte, Montana. Uh,
beautiful Butte, Montana.
Mm-hmm.
the
Uh-huh.
richest hill in the world.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
so I mean, I feel like we pretty much said what we wanted to say about it. I mean, that at least I did, because it's real. What this first season it really is kind of like it's introducing the characters, is introducing what the main plot is, um, and just trying to like it's just setting. If that's what
Mhm.
this first season just mostly feels like, to what's to come in the next 3 seasons that follow.
Yeah.
Um,
I kind of got that vibe because it was like this setup that they had, especially how it ends the last episode, how it ends where it has the tradesman ambassador sitting down on a bench, and he has the necklace of Juliana's, and as he's sitting down there, he's just like in silence, and like he
all of a
hears
sudden,
a
he's
noise, and then all of a sudden he's transported into our world.
into the San Francisco of 1963
Mhm.
in reality, and it's just like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it ends like that, and I'm like, wait, hold up. I'm like, it ends, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's like that's how the first season ends. It's like if I were to see this when it first came out, I would have been like, wait, what the fuck? I'm like, no, give me. I'm like, I need to watch more to see like what the hell's going on.
Yeah, now you know how I felt when I first watched it. I was just like, no, what do you? No, we're just getting good into it, and that's the end of it. Uh,
I was
that
like,
like, yeah, this is just to me is just such a great show for if you're into alternate history stuff, um,
mhm,
because it's just the imagination just goes wild with it, and
mhm.
it's interesting. It's an interesting show based off
Yeah,
of the book of the same name by Philip K. Dick, Man in the
mhm,
High Castle. Um, so yeah,
yeah,
that's my thing with it. So
mhm.
anybody else has anything? So
Yeah. Is there any other things you want to get to it before we get to our ratings?
oh, I just think there's a lot of really interesting like not even plot points, but pieces of dialogue in the show, like and facts. So like there's an episode where Juliana Crane is in the neutral zone
Mhm.
and she's in Cannon City and she's trying to find, the person that she's supposed to give her tape reel to
Yeah.
and has no way of identifying them really because her sister would have had all that information and she's dead.
Mm,
And
True
so
that.
she had, she's just kind of waiting around and she meets this guy who turns out to be a Nazi agent, but she doesn't know that immediately. But
Mhm.
he's reading a Bible, and she says, "I haven't seen a Bible since I was a child." He says, "Well, you can buy one from the bookstore." So she goes to the bookstore in Cannon City, and the guy behind the counter's like, "What can I help you with?" And she goes, "I'd like a Bible." He goes, "It's pretty dangerous business asking for a Bible,"
yeah.
but he sells
Mhm.
her one, and uh then he's met later in the might be the next episode, uh the marshal who
Yeah.
is there is no law in the neutral zone. Law is at the end of a gun, right?
Yeah.
But the guy who's there's this guy known as the marshal, and he's a bounty hunter for the Nazis. And
I always like to think that the neutral zone is like, imagine the Wild West if it was set in the 1960s. Like, because
Mm.
that's just how it feels. Like, yeah, there's really no laws. It's just the Wild West out here. But anyway,
Hmm. Yeah, I see
and
that.
the marshal, like, goes into the bookstore to be like, that woman come in here, she came buy a book, like deep gravel voice and all that crap. And what'd she buy? Oh, nothing. It's like, you got any Bibles? The guy's like, what? No, yes. And selling Bibles is a dangerous business. And he goes, I'm sorry, I will burn them. And he goes, see that you do. And then he goes, wait a minute. And he looks at him and he pulls out a deck of cards and they all have photos and names on them. And
Mhm.
they said, like, the guy gives him a name and it's like Paul or something. And he goes, are you sure you're not David so and so? And like he kills the guy after taking a thumb for like fingerprint verification, right?
Yeah.
And it's like apparently Bibles are illegal now, presumably because Christianity is not the state religion in the Empire of Japan, and Christianity is not the uh, basis of morals in the uh, German Reich.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
like I'm making assumptions here, but I'm assuming that um, the Reich outlawed Bibles because depending on how you view Christianity, that could interfere with how you function as in the Reich. I don't know. But
Mhm.
they don't really explain why you can't have Bibles, but I'm just making assumptions. But those assumptions I think make sense, and it's a really interesting thing. Um
Yeah. It's something I feel like they don't need to like explain. Like it's
they don't need
something
to
that.
explain it. I don't want an explanation, but I think
Mhm.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
Because at the same time in the neutral zone, one of the main characters, and I forget his name, but he's Muslim and he's part of the resistance. And the marshal,
Washington
yeah,
is
Lemur,
is
Lemur,
that I can't remember.
yeah, it's like Lee Muir something. It's an interesting name. I just I haven't heard it
Mhm.
Mhm.
often. Um, but he's Muslim, right? And the marshal walks into the restaurant and he's like, "I want meat. What do you have?" He goes, "I have pork chops." And he says, "I thought your book didn't allow you to like eat them, to eat pork." And he goes, the book says I'm not allowed to eat pork and like, but doesn't say I'm not allowed to cook it and sell it. And it's
Yeah.
like, neutral zone. Things are a little different in the neutral zone. Uh,
Mhm.
I don't understand your accent in the neutral zone. That's a SpongeBob reference. Anyway, but like, in the neutral zone, you have to like get by, and religion doesn't seem to have like state approved religion doesn't seem to have much space in this alternative world that they've created, and I just think that's
Yeah.
like an interesting fact
A lot of like
because like
a lot of the world building and like small like tidbits and small like things that they added, like any like little details they added to this, to the world, to the story that's in there, like it makes it much more interesting, and it feels like if like they put thought into making this show, which does make it like much more interesting to watch for me
oh yeah.
personally.
Also, criticism of the show, why the fuck is the first season filmed so dark? And I don't mean like the plot line is dark, the story is dark. It was hard to see.
I
See,
think it was.
that's where I kind of disagree a bit, because there are some scenes where it's really dark, but it's not
Mhm.
like the entire time it is like
Yeah, I know. For
dark.
me, it's only the first. For me, it's only the first episode that's like it looks really really
Same,
dark.
yeah, same with me
Everything
here. It was
everything
the
else like
first episode.
looks. It doesn't look like dark at all for me. I don't know if it's TV settings or stuff, but I know for the first episode, that was the only one that I could be like, okay, it was kind of hard to see certain scenes and it felt dark. But like as the episodes went by, like a lot of it set in the day or they were set in the afternoon, and it even if I watched some of the episodes in the daytime, didn't really bother. I think it was only the first episode for me that felt dark, like in a brightness. Me.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm for me, it like there were some scenes that were just really dark. Like, and my argument is like Frodo, like when they made Lord of the Rings, Frodo got into Mordor and I could see more shit than like than like the basement of this 1960s townhouse, right? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. And there were some scenes that were great and they were well lit and all that, but like I'm just saying like it was a pretty dark cinematic choice for some of these scenes where I was like, "Wow, you're not doing dark room very well." Um
Mhm.
like there's dark rooms and there's dark rooms and these people were just like, "What if there's like a match in the background real far away and that's the only light we're going to use?" But like use mirrors so that it looks like it's more. And it's like it's still dark. Like what are you doing?
Yeah.
But that's about all I have to say, really. My one criticism is that it's dark as fuck. Edgar,
Yeah. I guess yeah, we could get into the ratings. We'll start with Robin. What is your overall thoughts, rating, feelings about The Man in the High Castle?
I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. It's mostly it's not a full 5 because there are some bits where it's like there are some pretty like, and it's like small bits, and it's
Mhm.
not by main characters where it's like pretty poor acting. Um, and it
Mhm.
kind of pops up here and there, and it's usually from small characters. Like I mean like minute characters that are only in there for like, oh, I only have 2 lines and
Mhm.
that's it. But other than that, like I feel it's pretty damn good. It's an eye opening experience to kind of see like what would this world be like if we didn't win World War II.
Mhm.
Um, and it feels, despite the sci-fi esque portion of it, with it being with the reels, the film, and all that, it feels very real. It feels very grounded, and that's just what I like about it, is that it's just like this feels too real, and it's scary to think about it like that. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
4.5 out of 5 is for what I'd give it.
Not bad. What about you, Will? What is your overall ratings and thoughts of The Man in the High Castle? No.
I get a 4. I like it. It's good.
Hmm.
Um, I watched this season for the second time, so like I've seen it previously,
Hmm.
but it had been a while. When did this come out?
I think
Uh,
2015.
Yeah.
From what I checked, the first season came out in 2015.
okay. Um,
Let's see, season.
interesting.
Yeah, January 15th, 2015. That's when the first episode came out. So yeah.
Huh.
Huh.
Uh, anyway, so it had been a while though, right? So I
Mhm.
definitely like needed to watch the show um to like talk about it, just be like, yeah, there's films and the Nazis. Like that would have been like the review if I hadn't seen it again, right? Because it's been a while. But it's a 4. It's good. You know, I have small complaints like, but I overall I'm happy I watched it again. I recommend it. Go out and watch it if you haven't seen it.
Mhm.
Uh,
Hmm. Not bad.
yeah. Edgar, what do you think about the ratings in the show?
Yeah. So overall, since this is the first season, I'm only rating the first season right now. It, I really the entire like the story and the concept of it, I really like, especially where it takes place and the premise and where everyone goes with this and how the story itself is structured. And the little tidbits they add to detail to this show really like makes it stand out. Some of my issues is like there are some performances that aren't that great. But like the most of it is fine. Like I enjoyed it. There are points in the show that I did feel a tad bit bored. Like I was getting a bit bored with some. It wasn't every episode. Like there was some episodes I was really like engaged and I was focused on. There was other episodes where I was kind of like felt like I wanted to snooze or I checked my clock. But it wasn't the whole show. But like the main points like were really interesting, especially the beginning and as it gone through, and the ending itself like that was something that wants me to continue watching this because I know for sure after this, like after we review it, I'm for sure going to continue watching it to the end just to see what happens. But I would give it a 3.5 stars. I'd give it 3.5 stars. It's right there where it's a good start for the show, and for me, hopefully, it continues going up. So 3.5 stars for me. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay.
So ladies and gentlemen, that was our review for The Man in the High Castle. But of course, we're not done yet. We have one more segment in the show, which is our untitled segment idea. So, without further ado, I'm going to play the intro in a one, a two, a 1, 2, 3. Untitled segment idea. So, I'll start with Will. Mr. Will, what have you recently watched, seen, read, eaten, etc., 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 etc.?
Oh, um, yeah. I went to a restaurant the other day. That was pretty good.
Mm.
It's a Mexican restaurant here in town that I really like. They have some of like the best Mexican food I've ever had.
Mm.
Um, and they've had and I've been there a couple times like in the last month, right? Because it's here and it's local and it's good. And they've had this like food item on the board that was on special, and it was like a
Mm.
Milanese. It was like it's like Milanese something, and it was like, what is that? And I asked like I remember asking before, and they were like, oh, it's like breaded steak. And I was
Mm.
like, oh, okay, so it's like, a chicken fried steak kind of thing. And I was like, I don't feel like that. And then the other day I was like, I want to try it, and the waitress was like, well, do you want beef or chicken? And I was like, oh, let's do chicken. It's basically
Yeah.
schnitzel, like pounded. You pound the chicken breast flat and bread it and fry it, and it came with rice and you know, good onions on top, and it was good shit.
Ooh.
I really enjoyed it. So I was surprised. Next time I go there, I'm gonna get the beef just to have it. And yeah, that's what that's what I've eaten in terms of what I've watched. I've been watching Shameless on Netflix. It's a good
Hmm.
show. I really highly recommend it. It's funny and dark, but it's good. I like it. Uh, Robin?
Robin, what have you recently watched, seen, read, seen, thingy, the, etc.?
Well, I've been mostly watching a lot of stuff. Um, I'll just kind of I've been rewatching Band of Brothers, and I'm watching this new HBO show. Well, not new, it's new to me. It's been out. It came out in 1998, and it's a show on HBO called From the Earth to the Moon, and it's a docudrama series about the Apollo program. And
Mm.
it's kind of interesting. I actually really enjoy it. And also today, I for the first time ever, I watched Young Frankenstein, and
Really?
yeah, I've never seen it before. It was my first time watching it, and
Holy shit.
I really enjoyed it. It was really fucking funny. Um, so
It's a
that
good one.
that's pretty much. Oh, I also been watching quite a bit of Woody Allen movies. Mostly, I rewatched Annie Hall, and then I watched for the first time Midnight in Paris, which Midnight in Paris is really fucking good. That is a really good movie. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it before.
Hmm.
Um, it has
I,
Owen Wilson in it.
wow.
He actually does a pretty damn good job in it. So yeah, that's what I've watched mostly. So, Edgar, what about you? What have you watched, read, and et
Oh.
cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
Uh, I've been watching just the same that I watched before. With Doctor Who. Just I'm now at the Matt Smith section. It's interest. It's still enjoyable. I haven't finished it, but I'm almost finished with Destroy All Humans. I'm actually at the final boss, so that's where I'm at. I had to actually take a break because we were going to start the show. I was kind of getting a bit frustrated because I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this thing? And I'm trying to figure it out because I'm at that last part with not gonna spoil, but at the end of it, and I'm just like, god dang it! I'm like, it's like, you know what? I need to take a break from it, and then after the show, I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna go back in it, and I'm just gonna continue playing it. But I just been doing the same thing right now, but hopefully, next week we'll start it and it could be all fun. But that's what I've been doing. But yeah, that's our show, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, starting next week, as you can tell next week, you already know what season's going to be, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be the end of TV month, but it's the start of Spooktober.
Ooh.
So I already have the show picked out for us to watch. It's it's easy to know. It's a show. It's based off a very famous trilogy of films from a very famous director that changed the
That
genre of horror.
that we've reviewed two of those movies.
Yes, we did. We did a review on those two, and I wanted to start off the Spooktober. I wanted to end off TV month and start Spooktober with a bang. So if you want to join us there to the Spooktober stuff, because there's gonna be some changes here. We're gonna put it back how we did it last time, add some new tweaks, make everything look nice and neat. So stay tuned for our next week, our last episode of TV month, but our first episode of Spooktober, and I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for Spooktober. We got a lot of other ideas for other films we're gonna talk about and all that stuff. So also for next week, hopefully we'll do like for Spooktober, we'll see some Halloween horror kind of genre typed video game streams you'll see from here as well. So of course, follow us here on Twitch, follow us on all of our social medias to keep us updated when we go live or when we have our uploaded stuff on YouTube or on Spotify, which you should also follow those, our Spotify and YouTube, so you can watch us here if you missed our stream or you want to watch it like on your own time with that, then yeah, go on our YouTube and our Spotify for that. Also, if you want to follow our good buddies Rob and Will here, follow them on their social medias that are going to be in the description below. So just to follow them to see what they're up to and what they talk about. And of course,
mostly how coleslaw sucks.
Yeah, that's been that's been a going on thing. And if you want to see that, just follow Will on social medias. Also, join our Discord if you want to be part of our growing community. Join our Discord. We just have random stuff there, and you can interact with us and all that stuff. You can recommend us any movies or TV shows you would like us to talk about on the show for future episodes. And also, of course, my brain just had a brain fart, so I just don't remember what I was about to say. Oh yeah, now I remember.
Thank Rudin for
yeah, that's what
theme song.
That's what I was gonna say. Of course, we're always gonna say it. Thanks for our good buddy Garuda making the theme song for this show. Go check him out on his Spotify in the description below as well. So, and that's all I gotta say. Any last words from from you guys, from Will and Robin? Any last words before we end the show?
Yeah.
Fuck. No,
Yeah.
I don't have anything.
Buy the merch. Yeah, buy the merch. We've got merch. It's coming out. It's gonna be a Robin bobblehead, and it's gonna have a pull string cord for saying some of his famous sayings, like "I like mayonnaise," and the laughs included. The "I like mayonnaise" is a Robin Machuca quote.
Yeah, coming soon.
Brussels sprouts.
Yes.
No, that's just it. You pull the string and it goes Brussels sprouts.
Oh,
So that's just an example.
What about you, Robin? Any last words?
Brussels sprouts? I like Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, Edgar.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, Brussels sprouts. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all. We love you. And bye-bye. 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 Brussels sprouts. What are Brussels sprouts? What are Brussels sprouts?